Hi, I'm Attorney Ben Schwartz. We're going to do one more video here. This is our 5th video in a series of videos on car versus bicycle personal accidents resulting in personal injury cases. And you might have noticed if you watched the first 4 videos that there's sort of a theme, and the theme is, how to avoid these types of accidents so that you don't have to come see an attorney for your personal injury case. I'd much rather have people watch these videos and avoid getting in accidents and never get to meet them in the office than I would like to see them get in accidents and have to need us to try and get them compensation to get their medical bills and lost wages paid. So the last video, this last video that I want to shoot is on the topic of sideswipe accidents. We see a lot of cases where people are riding a bike, they're cruising down the road, they're right on the shoulder and a car is coming in the same direction and comes over onto the shoulder, hits them, knocks them off into a ditch or into a telephone pole or into another vehicle, or just knocks them down. And these types of accidents can be very severe, they can be catastrophic. And so what I want to talk about is what can you do to avoid this very common type of accident. If you're a motorist, what I think that you need to think about is your own situational awareness. If you're driving a car, you're responsible not just for yourself, but for the entire car and where it is. And I see people all the time who drive their car down the road, and they drive in the middle of the road over the center line. They drive half in their lane and half on the shoulder, and it's not intentional, they just don't realize they're doing it because they're not aware of the concept of situational awareness. When you're out driving, next time you're out in your car driving, adjust your side view mirrors so that instead of looking back and seeing what's behind you, adjust them just temporarily to focus down, tilt them back so that when you look in the passenger side view mirror, you can see what's on the ground next to the car. Adjust your driver's side mirror the same way so you can see the ground next to the car and go out and drive. And I bet that a significant portion of the people watching this video, if you actually do this, you'll see that you're across the line. You're across the painted line that separates your lane from the shoulder, or you're across the yellow line that separates your lane from the lane next to it. And the reason I say this is because I think that people don't realize where their car is. And if you're driving down the road and you're regularly on the shoulder, you may see a cyclist, you may not think you're going to hit the cyclist, you're going to hit the cyclist. And so if you're driving, you need to develop the sense of situational awareness. You can use your mirrors to figure this out, but you want to make sure that you're squarely within your lane at all times. If you're a cyclist, same thing, situational awareness. It's not enough to know what's going on ahead of you. If you're riding a bike, you have no protection around you whatsoever. You need to know what's in front of you, what's to the left of you, what's to the right of you, and what's behind you. And when I rode the bike, I had the ability, because the seat is so high and the bars are so low, I had the ability to look back under my arm and see what was coming up behind me. And I tried to be sure at all times that if there were cars passing me and I was on the shoulder, I tried to make sure at all times that I knew where those cars were so that if I needed to, I could bail over to the right to avoid being sideswiped by one of these drivers. Well, this is my tip on how to avoid these types of sideswipe accidents. It's something that I hope you'll discuss with each other. Hope you'll share this with folks that are in your family. Hope you'll share this with your friends. I'm Attorney Ben Schwartz. I hope you enjoyed the video series on bike versus car personal injury accidents. If you have comments, questions, etc., send me an email, ben.schwartz@schwartzandschwartz.com.